Welcome back, everybody. Take it back to Stephen, Mr. Stephen Shamus.
Good to see you, my friend. How's it going?
Always a pleasure. Great, fantastic. LA's beautiful. It stopped raining finally, which is something
I'll be out there in
never
a few
thought.
weeks.
Yeah.
I'll be out there in a few weeks to visit you.
I'll show you all my cool stuff.
It's warming there. It's getting snow here, so it's, we're flip flopping. Yeah. All right. So what do we got today, Alex?
We're again another mishmash episode. Some random stuff, some import stuff, some stuff that definitely one book you probably never heard of, and some that you might be surprised at the prices. We're going to talk a little Quantumania with Krylar. I think everybody's really excited to see Bill Murray just in general, but in a Marvel movie. And then we're going to talk about Solo Leveling. Which is an interesting free comic book day book, but I think the more interesting part is the manga and the anime books that are single issues are really getting some heat, and starting to take off like your My Hero Academia type stuff. We're gonna talk King Kong, classic, eighth wonder of the world. And then we're going to round it out with Shogun Warriors.
Imagine you enter the world of the Shogun Warriors. They're on the move. There's Raideen with Delta Wing missiles, Dragoon with a star shooter, and Mazinga with a rocket launcher. The Shoguns. Imagine you command them to defend freedom, protect...
Yeah, so I think Solo Leveling also has a TV or movie or something.
They're about to do a TV show. Yeah. It's big. Yeah.
All right, so the first one is fascinating because this book went from being absolutely worthless overnight. So go ahead, let's talk about
it's Krylar. Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think this is a funny book too, because like you said, overnight it got busy, and I think the numbers do not reflect what CGC has in stock. I'm sure they have about 300 books ready to be pressed and graded right now and before the movie comes out. But Krylar, I mean, this is a bottom of the barrel character. This is a character who is part of an old civilization from like a microverse. Mainly, it's a Hulk villain character. But he's part of this civilization that was in a microverse that he comes from a long line of assassins. Like very, very, very odd to put him in this movie. Like,
I know
it's just very weird. There's nothing like big about him. He's not like a super big villain or anything. He was just kind of around.
How did they find this? How did they find this character? It's like they pulled him off the heap.
I think that what they do in Marvel, they're like, okay, Ant-Man and Wasp is going to be small things. What is a microverse in the Marvel universe? And all these names popped up. But yeah, very crazy, very weird. Exciting.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So he's only got like one book, by the way.
Yeah.
So it's Hulk number 156, October of 1972. These books, even the price I'm giving you, don't even really matter anymore because they've just gone bananas. So and the CGC label doesn't even note yet that Krylar is in the book. That's how obscure the character was.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. There are 12 9.8s, 39 9.6s, and 17 9.4s. A 7.0 recently sold for $125, which is pretty big, which means those higher grades are going to be in the thousands of dollars. Yeah. Literally, nobody cared about that book. You couldn't give it away. It was probably $5, and now it's like crazy.
Everybody's scrambling to press and send like crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So Hulk 156 is like the only appearance, by the way, of Krylar. All right, what do we got? What do we got next, Alex? This book is starting to heat up because there's a film or a TV, I think. Go ahead.
It's a TV show. It's called Solo Leveling, and it's a webtoon essentially. And there's going to be a video game coming out, an anime series. It's a Korean manga, which I don't think it's called manga from Korea, but it's you understand what I'm saying. But I mean,
of course,
it was a very popular. One of the creators has passed away, so it's over. But I think what you're seeing here is like, first of all, webtoons are really big again, like hugely popular. Second, like your manga and your animes are probably as popular as they were, in the late 2000s or whenever Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon were really high. And people are trying to find things, collectibles. I mean, this is something that was obviously a free book to get you to buy the actual printed manga. But if you're looking for collectible items, I mean, there isn't anything. This is all new stuff.
Yeah. So this book is starting to heat up. Solo Leveling, No Number, Free Comic Book Day 2021 by Yen Press. There are 36 9.8s. It's about $150, but I think you're going to see them up and away.
Yeah, totally.
So you should be looking out for this book. Yeah. Okay. Alex's pick of the week. What do you got, Alex?
I don't have one specific pick of the week, but I will remind everybody that in a few weeks, ComicsPro is having their first in-live meeting in 3 years. And we have talked about it a lot of times about ComicsPro variants and collectibles coming out of that meeting. So I think your best bet, and I believe it's the last weekend in February, be on eBay when things start. Type in ComicsPro and just keep hitting refresh. ComicsPro 2023 refresh, because once these things start hitting the internet, and I know the store guys that what they do is they get their books, they go to the hotel room, they take pictures, they put them on eBay, and they sit back and enjoy and then watch the money come in, and they ship them when they get home. Now's the time to start looking and picking up these books and looking at press releases of what's coming out, because if you don't buy them now when they're maybe 20 or 30 bucks, you're going to have to be buying them when they're $100 and $200 when that book ends up becoming a big book and there's only 1,000 of these made. So we'll be on the lookout for the ComicsPro.
I feel like you're the guy who goes there and then doesn't take the books or doesn't buy the books or doesn't get the books, like Emerald City.
I mean, I don't necessarily try to take everything, but I will be there.
I feel like you always miss out on the good stuff.
I always miss out on everything. Yes, definitely. That is definitely true.
You forgot to pick it up. You forgot to buy it. You forgot to take it home.
And like an update from last week or 2 weeks ago, I do have a Green Lantern Planet of the Apes Emerald City comic. I was like, I think I have one of those, and I do, and I will be selling it as soon as humanly possible.
I know, but what happens when in 2 years from now we're talking about some rare limited edition whatever from Emerald City, and you'd be like, "Oh, I didn't get that one. I forgot to pick that one up."
Every day of my life. That's
going to be you. That's going to be you.
Yeah, totally.
You know that, right? Yep. Okay. Yep. Okay. Good. As long as you know that, you recognize that. All right. So, all right. What do we got next, Alex?
The eighth wonder of the world, and I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about King Kong. King Kong.
So you're starting to see these books creep up a little bit too. Again, I think there's a nostalgia there. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Gold Key. I think people have been ignoring these for years. I really do. I think this is a Marvel DC heavy back issue collectible world, and people are realizing that these Gold Keys, they're not. Yes, they might have printed a lot, and yes, they're kind of easy to find if you look for them. But when you start looking at like number ones or last issues, they're not as easy as that. And I think people are starting to really take a look at these stuff. And this is stuff that's not. It's not like you're not talking about like Roy Rogers #1 comics. These are like big properties. King Kong, Winnie the Pooh. I think we talked about someone else like the Harlem Globetrotters had a comic, and these things are not. These are things that are still going around now. So why wouldn't you pick them up?
Yep. So King Kong #1 Gold Key again. Mm-hmm. Keep talking about this. September of 1968. There's only 3 9.6s and 7 9.4s. An 8.0 recently sold for $200. It's a movie adaptation, painted cover, Gary Poole story, Giovanni Ticci and Alberto Giolitti art with a George Wilson cover. Then there's the Fantagraphics version, King Kong #1, February of 1991. There are 64 9.8s, and that's a $400 book, Alex.
Yeah,
with a Dave Stevens cover.
That's why Dave Stevens.
So that's a book you could find. You could find this Fantagraphics book. That is a good book.
Yep, and their price per card is usually pretty high, so getting 9.8 isn't as hard as you think.
Yeah. All right, what are we closing up with tonight, Alex?
Shogun Warriors. Some of the 80s nostalgia coming right back.
Yeah, what's going on? What's going on with that?
I think you're just looking at nostalgia and early Marvel stuff, and Herb Trimpe art. Like, you can't go wrong with that. Shogun Warriors is one of those, like, it was a hodgepodge of Japanese toys that were from different lines that they brought to America and just called them Shogun Warriors and put them all together in one line. I think famously there's a Shogun Warriors Godzilla that has his arm, you hit a button and his hand fires and he's got a long tongue, but that was the Shogun Warriors line Godzilla, which is very weird. But cool toys. I mean, if you were into like transforming toys in the 70s and 80s, like these were huge. They were
Who
huge,
wasn't?
cool ones.
Who wasn't?
Yeah, exactly. That was like the
remember
thing.
When Transformers came out.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, as a kid. Now I think it came out. I think you were not. I was born a little bit before you. You were older. Yeah. Okay. When Transformers came out, it was the most mind-blowing thing I had ever seen in my life. When my little van turned into like an Optimus Prime, it was just the fact that somebody could have constructed from an engineer point of view, a car that turned into a robot. Because you understand, when you're a young boy back then, you loved cars and you loved robots. Yeah, and they mashed them together.
Working cars that wheeled, working robots that walk.
I have to tell you, I remember when I got my first Transformers, I was like, I can't believe they made a car that turned into a robot.
Yeah.
Right.
Once you figured out how to transform it, you were like, this is amazing. I want to do this.
This is amazing.
All the time. Yeah.
Amazing. All right. So Shogun Warriors #1 from Marvel, February of 1979, 388 9.8s, 9.9. It's about a $200 book. Doug Mensch story, Herb Trimpe and Dan Green art, Herb Trimpe and Al Milgram cover. Shogun Warriors #0 came out from Toynami in 2013. This one is impossible
promo book,
to find.
Promo book,
impossible. That's the one you missed. That's San Diego Comic-Con.
That's exactly one of the ones I missed. Yes, correct.
There you go, Alex.
You got me on that one.
2 9.6s. It's a $250 raw book.
Wow.
$2,200 and 9.6s for sale. But if you want to buy one raw, it's $250. Comic-Con exclusive, George Stone story, Sergio Reno art. That, to me, that's the book that you kind of forget. It's typical of you forgetting to buy.
Of course, 100%. They're probably handing it out at the booth like free. And I'm like, I don't want any paper.
Let me tell you something. We had WotC at our shows back in 93, 94, and they would hand out free packs of Magic the Gathering, and nobody wanted them, and they could barely give them away. Do you know what those packs are? Tens of
unopened
packs.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Exactly.
They were just giving them out for free samples.
I'm sure there's a warehouse somewhere that's got cases of Magic cards that people are just like, I forgot I bought them and nobody was buying them anymore.
Can you imagine?
Crazy.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate your time. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the field below. Otherwise, we will see you all next week. Same bad time.
Same bad channel. Thanks, guys.